I need video ideas. I should consult my therapist. Okay, as per the recommendations of my psychotic fish therapist, we are at the river. Nobody's getting thrown into it though. I am hopeful that this isn't too much of an unattractive angle here, but it'll do for now, for what we have to talk about. As some of you may already know, we've reached 200,000 miles on the odometer, which means we're overdue for a maintenance log video. The last one that I did, I believe it was something from the time that I took ownership of the car all the way up until 152,000 miles or so. That's what I had on the odometer at the time, I believe. Right now I have 201,016 miles on the odometer. And like I said, I was long overdue for one of these maintenance log videos. So this one's probably going to be a long one because a lot has happened in that time. It's been, what, basically 50,000 miles since. You might want to skip this video, I guess, but if you want to know what maintenance on a Chrysler 300 might look like, stick around. In any case, this is a 2005 Chrysler 300 Limited that comes with the 3.5 liter V6 single overhead cam engine. So this is not the SRT8, this is not the 300C, and this is not the 300 base, because they're different engine options. So the 3.5 liter V6 is above the 2.7 liter V6, which is trash, but below the 300C Hemi. Alright, if you can imagine that. And the SRT8 is just the psychopath package, right? But 3.5 liter V6, 2005 Chrysler 300 with 201,016 miles on the odometer. With the last video, I believe we left off at item number 22, an oil change on November 6th, 2016 at 150,000 miles. And that was 10W30 Castrol Edge full synthetic motor oil with the Mopar MO090 oil filter. So, moving on. Oil change, February 4th, 2017 at 155,103 miles. That was 10W30 Castrol Edge full synthetic motor oil with a Mopar MO090 oil filter. On February 10th, 2017, at 155,377 miles, I did a coolant flush and fill. I took it to a mechanic for that, and they put in Dex Long Life. So Dex Cool, it's like an orange coolant, I guess. Because I believe this car takes HOAT coolant. Because I know there's green, there's red, but one of them is HOAT, one of them is OAT, blah, 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 blah. But the point is, this was Dex Long Life. And they flushed the coolant out of the radiator and filled it with the new stuff. The next service on that I have written down as being due at 220,000 miles. So I have 20,000 more miles to go before I want to change that again. At 156,500 miles on March 8th, 2017, I changed the EGR valve tube seal. I replaced the EGR valve tube seal and cleaned out the carbon buildup from the tube. What was going on was that when I gently accelerated, the RPMs would be going up and then die down and up and down, like it would be loping around back and forth a little bit, and the car would be like, vroom, vroom. It turns out EGR valve tube seal needed replacing, carbon buildup in the pipe needed to be cleared, and the EGR valve itself had to be changed. You guys might remember that one as me going under the car, hugging the transmission with a bunch of like extenders on a ratchet, trying to get this thing undone. But I got it done without having to take off half the engine, so that's awesome. And of course, the next item on this list is the EGR valve, March 11th, 2017, 156,600 miles. Replace the EGR valve and gaskets. The next item on the list is new tires. I remember that. That was April 8th, 2017 at 157,966 miles. 4 new Pirelli P4s. That's P215, R65R17 99T, mounted, balanced, and aligned. I think that's also when they ended up buying a lifetime alignment from Firestone, so that all my future alignments would be for free. I might be mistaken. We'll see later as we go down the list, but I believe I bought a lifetime alignment at that time at a pretty damn good deal. I believe it was like 50 bucks or something. Anyways, so that means I have pretty much almost 50,000 miles on these tires. Not bad. Moving on. Oil change. May 4th, 2017. 160,000 miles. 10W30 Castrol Edge full synthetic high mileage motor oil Mopar MO090 filter. Tire rotation and alignment on September 2nd, 2017 at 164,984 miles. Rotated tires and got an alignment. Oil change on September 2nd, 2017 at 164,995 miles. 10W30 Castrol Edge full synthetic high mileage motor oil. Purolator Boss oil filter, part number PBL14670. Passenger airbag on September 25th, 2017. Oh, this one's pretty funny. The mileage on that was 166,697 miles. I had the passenger side airbag replaced as per the Takata airbag recall. That was pretty funny actually, because I remember this airbag, the driver's airbag, was being changed, and I was like, wait, it's kind of odd that this airbag would be changed but not that one. So I went under, I looked at it, and I see this rusty ass can. Like, it was nasty. I'm like, you know what, that is going to be a recall, or it should be recalled at least, because of all the corrosion that's going on around the can. With the Takata airbags, it was known that in like tropical or humid climates, the cans would rust, and the I want to call it propellant. It's not propellant, it's catalyst, I guess, the thing that spurs that starts the chemical reaction and gets it going to inflate the airbags. Takata made that thing slightly too strong, and then the cans that had a lot of corrosion would rupture, or something along those lines. Takata has filed for bankruptcy and everything like that, but in any case, they replaced the driver's side airbag, and a long while later, they ended up issuing a recall for the passenger side airbag. I guess once enough people died, they realized that yes, the passenger airbag should also be replaced. But then again, I have a saying as far as recalls go: unless it's issued by the government, a auto manufacturer will not issue a recall unless the cost of... There was something like a formula where it was like, the likelihood of the accident times the cost of the accident equals the amount of money, and if that is greater than the court fees, then the recall does not get issued, or something like that. It's, cheaping it out. But in any case, I guess enough people died from the passenger airbag that that became a concern. That, and Takata was ordered by the courts to pay for these recalls, not the auto manufacturers. So I guess Chrysler just ended up issuing the recall anyway. Trunk struts replaced. So these were the like hydraulic little struts that would hold up the trunk. Did I just say hydraulic? Okay, it's just like little pneumatic struts. When you open the trunk is held up by these struts. They're like little shock towers, or shocks or something. These were replaced on October 7th, 2017 at 167,185 miles. Old trunk struts were very weak, replaced with good strong pair found in junkyard. Yeah, the trunk kept falling on my head, so I just replaced the struts. Third brake light replaced, October 7th, 2017 at 167,185 miles. Some LEDs were burnt out in the old assembly, replaced with a newer one found in junkyard. Still working perfect. HVAC temp control module replaced, November 12th, 2017 at 169,439 miles. Replaced HVAC temperature control module with a newer one. Backlights weren't working, so that was purely cosmetic. Oil change, November 24th, 2017 at 169,811 miles. 5W30 Castrol Edge full synthetic high mileage motor oil. 5W30 because it was for the winter. Oh, and I also mixed in 1 quart of 10W30. I guess that's just what I had on hand. STP extended life filter, part number S16XL. Cold air intake filter and grommet for the mass airflow sensor were replaced on November 26th, 2017 at 170,215 miles. Replaced the cold air intake filter, tightened down all the metal bands, replaced IAT sensor rubber grommet. There we go. Right hand torque box cover. That's just a fancy term for one of the splash shields that this car has under it. That was November 26th, 2017 at 170,215 miles. Replaced missing splash shield under fender between tire and rocker panel. There you go. HVAC temperature control module backlights. November 27th, 2017 at 170,277 miles. Replaced 2 out of 5 backlight bulbs. They were burnt out. These were 12 volt 5mm grain of wheat bulbs. So I guess once I replaced the HVAC temp control module, some of the lights ended up going out, so I replaced some more, but instead of buying a whole new thing, I decided to do it by using the bulbs. Alright, we have a tire rotation on March 10th, 2018 at 174,983 miles. Rotated the tires. Wheel alignment, March 10th, 2018, 174,984 miles. Firestone lifetime wheel alignment. Oil change, March 31st, 2018, 175,642 miles. 10W30 Castrol Edge full synthetic high mileage motor oil, STP extended life filter part number S16XL. Is item number 41, right? Right, okay. Page 2. Brake pads for the front. That was July 1st, 2018. I had 179,120 miles on the odometer. CarQuest Wherever Platinum, part number PXD1056H or whatever the heck. Oil change, August 12th, 2018. 180,645 miles. S16XL STP filter 10W30 Castrol Edge high mileage motor oil. Sway bar links, September 28th, 2018. 184,529 miles. Replaced left and right front sway bar links, part number DWK80823. These have the little grease nipples on them, so I could grease them as well. But the sway bar links were having a little bit of play in them, and I think it was time to change those, and it stiffened up the suspension slightly when you're like on the highway going into a turn or something. It was alright. Oil change, October 8th, 2018 at 185,088 miles. Purelator Boss PBL 14670 10W30 Castrol Edge high mileage. Oil change, January 4th, 2019, 190,255 miles. S16XL STP filter 5W30 Castrol Edge high mileage. Tire rotation, January 4th, 2019, 190,255 miles. Rear wheels went up, front wheels crossed and moved down. Oil change, May 10th, 2019, 195,752 miles. S16XL STP filter, 10W30 Castrol Edge high mileage. Grease, May 10th, 2019, 195,752 miles. Tie rod ends, sway bar links were greased through the grease nipples. Brake pads in the rear, May 11th, 2019, 195,777 miles. Replaced the rear brake pads with Duralast MKD 1057 ceramics. I believe these are the ones that come with a lifetime warranty as well, which is quite amusing to think about. Caliper bracket for the front left, May 21st, 2019, with 195,992 miles. Replaced the front left brake caliper bracket. I believe what happened there was one of the guide pins got seized. I tried to take it out, it snapped inside of the bracket, so I just replaced the whole bracket. That was part number 14026. Upper and lower control arms on the passenger side. That was September 19th, 2019 at 199,040 miles. Replaced the upper and lower control arms. Passenger side, lifetime warranty. I ended up doing this through a mechanic because my car was due for safety inspection, and he said, listen, the right side control arms were making a lot of noise, they were having a lot of play. Whenever I applied the brakes, it was like the right tire on the front was loose and it was jiggling around. And he was right. So I was like, you know what, go ahead and replace that, mostly because I'm so lazy that I don't think I'll ever have time to do that. So he went ahead and replaced it. I believe the total cost for parts and labor and the emissions and safety inspection turned out to be $432. Ouch, but not terrible. That's what YouTube money's for, right? Tie rod end on the driver's side. So that was September 22nd, 2019 at 199,260 miles. Replaced the driver's side tie rod end. Has a lifetime warranty, so I replaced that tie rod under the lifetime warranty, and it still has lifetime warranty. Does that make sense? It was a Moog tie rod end. Turns out it was a little bit difficult to move around on the inner tie rod, I guess. Oh, I remember what happened. So when I did the upper and lower control arms with the mechanic, he didn't align the car. So it was some interesting shit going on where the wheels were cambered in and they were like had a slight toe in and everything. I ended up taking it to a Firestone in Pennsylvania, and these guys are assholes. That's a long story, perhaps for another video, but they ended up ruining one of my outer tie rods. So by the time that I went to a Firestone in Brooklyn, that tie rod was done, so I just ended up replacing it. The combination of the out of alignment suspension with that stupidly tight tie rod made it so that it wouldn't thread right on the inner tie rod, and there was just too much play in that tie rod, so I just ended up replacing it for the Firestone in Brooklyn, who does my alignments without trying to upsell anything. Maybe I'll make a video about that little experience there. So that was the tie rod end on the driver's side. Then I finally got the alignment done September 23rd, 2019 at 199,260 miles. Firestone lifetime wheel alignment. Wheel balance, September 25th, 2019, 199,500 miles. All four wheels balanced, tires rotated so that wheels with most weights went on the rear, as per recommendation of the mechanic that was working at Balkan. Balkan Automotive is a mechanic shop that opened up in my town, and these guys are friends of mine, so whenever I need something done, I, like let's say, need a wheel balance, I'll go to them, they'll take care of it, you know. Oil change, October 26th, 200,631 miles. Fram XG16 filter, 10W30 Castrol Edge high mileage, motor oil. So that's that. That would be everything that I have up to now. So as far as maintenance goes, you know, oil changes, brake pads, that's just wear and tear maintenance, you know. Backlights for these things, well, would I count that as, well, you know, that's cosmetic stuff. It's not going to kill the car if the backlights go out, but I ended up changing that, so that wouldn't be what I would call regular maintenance, I guess, because it's an internal component that I ended up replacing because it stopped functioning. In other words, what I'm trying to say is, as far as regular maintenance goes, this thing has just been purely oil changes and brake pads, except for replacing the EGR valve at 156,000 miles, recall work with the airbags, HVAC temperature control module backlights, sway bar links. Okay, here's the thing, suspension components, yeah, they do get used, but the Chrysler 300 is notorious for having a lot of front-end suspension stuff needing replacing more sooner than other vehicles would, if that makes sense at all. So do expect suspension issues, sway bar links, tie rod ends, upper and lower control arms, things of that nature. Otherwise, this car has been very well behaved. It's a very happy car. The engine is still pretty good, pretty strong for 201,016 miles. Let me think of what problems this car has. The differential in the rear has a slight leak in it. This is nothing serious. Whenever I do something under the car, like let's say a transmission drain and fill or a coolant drain and fill, I just ask the mechanic to check on the fluid level in the differential and have him top it off. It's not something that I have to look at every week or anything. It's more like once a year I'll just take a peek and fill it up as needed. The sunglasses holder is broken. One of the hinges that are made of plastic has broken off. When I go to a junkyard, I'll just look for a new one and buy one for 10 bucks. It's not a big deal. I'll change that whenever. The most annoying problem that I have in this car right now is that the roof leaks. This has a sunroof. Sunroofs are not watertight. They actually let water in, and there's like a metal pan, sort of, that catches the rainwater, and there are drain tubes. One here, one here. I don't know if it has them in the front. I haven't really taken a good look. But the idea is water from this drain pan gets taken away and dumped under the car somewhere. And one of these drain hoses, this one I presume, is clogged with like dust, debris, stuff like that. So water, you guys know this already, it's been on one of my videos as a joke. Water actually would come out through the light fixture here in the back whenever it rained and whenever the car was on a level surface. So whenever the car was on a slight incline, I wouldn't have a leak. Funny thing is, there was this leak, and I don't know if some of you will remember, but there was this one time on the highway where I actually spun out and tapped the rear bumper on the guardrail. After that, for like half a year, the sunroof didn't leak at all, so I guess it unclogged whatever was going on over there. That like little slight impact. But now it's been starting to act up again, and at some point I should probably open this up and clean out that drain hose, but just been lazy. Yeah, as far as immediate problems go, this is broken, that is leaking. You know, the driver's seat is showing some wear and tear on the leather. That is unfortunate, but it's not that big of a deal. I have replaced the light bulbs for the clock. Have I not written that down? Huh. Funny how I wrote down that I replaced the HVAC control module for the clock lights, but didn't. Well, you know what? Maybe because I just changed the light bulbs on the clock. The light bulbs on the clock lights are similar to regular old light bulbs, where you take the thing off, you unscrew it, you put a new one in. No big deal there. As far as to-do goes on this thing, where's my transmission fluid? Transmission fluid and filter, I want to change at 230,000 miles. Coolant, flush and fill, I want to do again at 220,000 miles. Other than that, just oil changes, brakes. At some point, I do want to change the spark plugs, the PCV valve, the air intake filter, and let's see what else. And the serpentine belt, because it's starting to show a couple of cracks. Is it called serpentine belt? Serpentine belt, fan belt, little rubber belt that goes like at the front of the engine that powers the alternator and all those goodies. That, you know, I want to change that belt sometime around soon. It's nothing immediate. Okay, so it's a lot of rambling on, but I'm hopeful that this is insightful and helpful. Okay, the idea here is, I told you all of the maintenance that I've done to the vehicle, right? Whether this was routine things like oil changes and brake pads versus non-routine things like sway bar links and upper and lower control arms. I've talked about things wrong with this car, so that would be the sunglasses holder and the drain roof hose. I want to get that fixed. As far as cosmetic things go, I'm looking for, so I have an, here we go. Impact foam for the front bumper that's under the grille. It's white foam. It's supposed to be a black foam, but over time I guess so much like little pebbles and stuff have hit this foam that it's chipped off the black paint, and it's just an ugly white thing now. I've picked up new black foam at the junkyard. I have a new fender for the driver's side from the junkyard because I found one, and this one has a dent in it from when I took ownership of the car. The passenger side front fender, I'm sure some of you guys will remember I got hit by rebar on the highway, so I ended up replacing that fender, but I guess I didn't put enough layers of lacquer on the, or enough layers of top coat on that fender as I was replacing it, so it's a matte finish now compared to the high gloss finish of the rest of the car, and I don't like that. So if I go to a junkyard and I see a fender like that, I'm taking that as well. Turns out it's a lot better to go to a junkyard and pick up a fender for 20 or 30 bucks that's in like new condition, rather than take this fender, sand it down, use like $10 worth of primer, like $20 worth of paint, like $10 worth of lacquer or top coat or whatever. Yeah, so cosmetic things, yeah, there's some cosmetic things. Maintenance things that need attention, so like spark plugs and things like that. That'll be all, really. So, yeah. Like I was saying, 201,016 miles on the odometer. I do realize that I throw a bunch of numbers around, so I'm going to try and subtitle in the odometer readings of these maintenance things if I can. This is going to be like a 25-minute video, so it's going to be a lot of work, but I'll try that for you guys. I will. And that'll be all. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you found this helpful or interesting, and I'll see you around. Take care.